So I wanted to share something that just happened to me because first and foremost, I'm a little just shaken up, and I think that this, whatever just happened, I think that it was definitely meant to happen. So I was driving home from my sister's house, and I was on the freeway, and I thought I had gotten onto the 405, and I got onto the 110, and I didn't really notice until I started seeing, I'm in LA, and so until I started seeing like downtown, the buildings from downtown. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got on the wrong freeway. And I thought I was being very mindful. I've been communicating more with this reality, really trying to communicate. And on my drive to my sister's today, I started to talk internally, like I started speaking to my environment and letting it know that I recognize it and that I understand that, you know, everything that we usually overlook is sentient and all of that. And so I was having this dialogue, and I've been having a huge influx of synchronicities and kind of playing with that concept as well. Like, okay, I see that you're there, you know, recognizing that, and, you know, not thanking, but just honoring it by recognizing it and kind of playing with the concept of it, seeing how many synchronicities keep coming up. So I kept seeing today certain numbers, and they were everywhere, like everywhere, to the point where like it was a lot. So I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? I'm tuning in, I'm recognizing the synchronicities that are always there, and the more you tune in, the more synchronicities there will be. So I realized I was on the wrong freeway. So I turned my GPS on, and it had me exit. I think it was on Gauge or something. And I just remember thinking, okay, well, why did this happen? You know, there's a reason why this happened. There's a reason why I've driven this way so many times. I took the wrong exit. And as I thought that, I looked to my right as I was exiting, and there was a sign. And there's signs out here, and they say something like, if you're in an accident or minor crash, it's like minor crash, no injuries, pull over, or like exit the freeway, something like that. It's like a white sign I've been noticing around. Well, I made like eye contact with this sign, and there was graffiti over the beginning of it. So it just said crash and then injury. And on my drive here earlier too, because it's like a 35-minute drive, I thought about a crash and injury. You know, I had my leg, I was driving like this with my leg up, and I just thought about, I thanked my body because I had a workout today. So I was thanking my body, and but then I just thought something about the left leg and a crash, right? And I was like, okay, like I'm safe, I'm protected. And I thought, why did I have this thought? And I just thought, it's just my programming, it's just my nature to sometimes get really low vibrational thoughts and then recognize it and I shake it off. So anyways, I saw that sign, and I noticed a graffiti on it, and I read it, and it said, since it was crossed off with graffiti, all I read was, like I said, crash and injury. So I exited the freeway, and there was, I think, only 2 lanes. There might have been a third one. I think there might have been a third one. There's a really narrow exit, and I was gonna go in the middle because there were less cars in the middle, but I had to make a left. So I thought, well, I'd rather be on the one to the left. Thank God I chose that lane, because I was the last car out. There was no one behind me, and the lane to the right had only like 2 cars, I think. So typically I probably would have gone to the one in the middle just because I would be further up. And all of a sudden I hear a car coming really loud. My window was down, and I heard a screech, and it was like behind me. So I was like, what the fuck? And this car comes shooting down, and I mean fast. It was probably going 55 miles per hour, maybe 60. and I just put my foot on the brake, and I just like, it kept my foot on. I just remember I like pressed the brake extra tight. I just covered my ears because my windows were down, and I know that accidents are very loud. I can cover my ear, wait for the impact. This car was going so fast. He tried to screech the brakes, completely hit the car in the middle lane, right, the lane over next to me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I hear sirens, and sure enough, there was 2 cops. They were like in SUVs and a helicopter just coming over. So it was a high-speed pursuit, and I felt horrible for the person in the car that got hit. I felt horrible for everyone. I don't know what exactly happened, if the car that hit the other one drove in front of it, or if the other one was freaked out, or maybe got pushed ahead, but they probably went up like 500 feet. And I have this all on tape too. I have this all on my phone. I recorded it. But yeah, they pulled the guy over, and I'm sure the cops were just fully armed, probably freaked out too. But I was like, what the fuck? Took the wrong exit on my way home, a typical route I've taken many times. Saw the sign, crash, injury. Almost went. I would have been that car in the middle. And that would have been traumatic. I mean, the person in that car is hurt for a fact. It would be a miracle if they were not hurt. So I'm not going to sit and play this game that could have been me, or, you know, all of that, or what if, you know. I am extremely, I want to be careful with my words. I guess you could say grateful, but you don't know what anything holds. So maybe that would have been the best thing that could have happened to me in my life. You don't know. I can't say that. But I do feel that I was communicated to before this happened. I was communicated to by a higher source, obviously. And just by trying to do this work of communicating more with this matrix system that we're in, communicating with everything that's here, the numbers, the signs, you know, these codes that are behind everything we see, that truly run everything, trying to communicate with that blindly, right? Like just intuitively. Sometimes I feel like it's blindly, but I know it's intuitively now, you know? Especially when I drove out today to my sister's, I just thought, I'm going to communicate with the system. I'm going to communicate with the system. I trust myself enough. I trust my intentions behind it, you know? And I asked myself, why the hell did I get on the wrong freeway? That's so bizarre. I thought I was being pretty mindful. I guess not, or perhaps there's no point in trying to really figure out why. I guess the truth is that the universe is always talking to you. This reality that we're in is always talking to you. You can communicate with it. It could be the most blissful thing. It could feel like this beautiful dance, this beautiful interaction. So I think what I'm going to do is just go home and really sit in the gratitude. I don't know when I'm going to post this, but I wanted to share with you guys. If you have had a similar experience, let me know. It's always great to hear similar stories. All right.